And just like that, the second episode has begun. Welcome back to Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. I am your host, MegaShadowFist, second video games, second commentary. When we last left off, we were cross-examining Dahlia Hawthorne a second time. So, without further ado, naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. You didn't know either person? Are you certain of that? Yes, I'm afraid I'm rather shy around people. Oh well, that can't be helped. Why is he just agreeing with everything that comes out of her mouth? The first time you saw either of them was when they were on the bridge, correct? Yes, it really was a coincidence. Okay, so then there was the other one, way down. She's like, oh, it's a good thing I wasn't wearing a scarf. Alright, holding a grudge of killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago, I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. Lying sack of crap. What do you mean by lucky? Well, it's February now. Everyone is wearing scarves. If I had accidentally worn a white scarf like you said, then you yourself might have been killed. That would have been a terrible loss for this world. Ha! It looks like you pressed too hard this time, kitten. Mr. Armando! Keep looking around you and you're going to lose sight of the finish line. Justice is blind, but she's not deaf. Sometimes you have to know when not to talk. Alright, so, we have two things that were added to the thingy. So, it's, kidnapping. I just think the defendants are terrible. Wait a second! Or kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is a terrible, terrible monster. How did you... Oh, that's right, we pressed that. Hold on. Let's press this again. You knew about that incident? But weren't you out of the country until the... Okay. And she's like, oh yeah, I saw the report on his history. Okay, yeah, that's right. I was like, hold on one second, lady. Okay, so I was out of the country until the year before last. Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. Okay, until I entered college, I had never even been to Eagle Mountain before. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you is 5 years ago. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. We're kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. Do you have anything to prove? Hold on. What does this diamond say? A $2 million gem used as a ransom for Dahlia lost to Eagle River 5 years ago. Are we gonna need to prove, but like, how does that prove anything though? Because like, naturally you could say, you could go to holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago, and I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Until I entered college, I had never even been to Eagle Mountain before. Like, you could present this, but even though we as the player knows that this is Dahlia, the characters don't, so presenting this wouldn't do anything for us. Would it? Lost to Eagle River 5 years ago. Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. I was out of the country until the year before last. I don't think that we have... Let's check everything. Check everything. Proof of my profession, it's brand new and sparkles in the light. Stab with a knife in the back. Died from blood loss between 4 and 5 p.m. Dusky Bridge map. That's probably not going to do anything. Bridge located 40 feet above. Touch checkpoint for details. Worn by the victim at the time of the incident, found at Dusky Bridge. Taken by the witness, bridge unchanged for 5 years, touch checkpoint for details. Okay. Hold on. Bridge unchanged for 5 years. Oh, hold on. Worn by the victim at the time of the incident, found at Dusky Bridge. Confidential policewoman, you know, this is like, tell Dahlia, talk to Dahlia, the whole truth. Would we use that to say, a photo of the trunk of Fall's car? Yeah. Melissa Foster took the witness's photo with this, has a timer function. Would we do that though? Like, naturally I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. So, then would we present, the note? Like, I'm not quite sure, like, we'd be like, oh, well, you're Dahlia, tell this time the whole truth. I don't think this is gonna work, because we haven't quite identified her as Dahlia Hawthorne yet. But we'll try it. No, it's wrong. Your Honor! That statement contradicts this evidence! I'm sorry, but I think the only thing out of the place here is that pointer finger of yours. Okay, yeah, we've heard this before. Now it's time gonna take this penalty and try thinking things through again. Now we're gonna get our first guilty verdict of the case. That's enough! This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial, nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. This court finds the defendant, Terry Falls, guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned. So he says the same exact thing as his brother. Interesting. Oh, that was the first guilty verdict from Save Point. Yeah, so I was out of the country. So I feel like it has to be this one though. Until I entered college, I had never I've never even been to Eagle Mountain before. No. Which one was the one that we got added? When was the last time that we saved, actually, I wonder? Certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police. Okay, yeah, so this is before that, okay, so... it was right here, right? No, it was the second one, right? So we have to go to this one. I was out of the country until the year before last, press. Alright, so what country were you living in? You hear this again. And because technically, since we technically haven't seen it before the save, we can't just skip past it. Unfortunately. That's cool. What kind of sob story is this? What do I do? Should I press for details? Press her harder. Witness, answer my question. I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in? Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in, and how many languages she may speak is irrelevant. What we're here to evaluate is whether this witness has any connection to this case. I've been brought ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Falls or Detective Hawthorne. Yes, I think we've established that point. Okay. Shall we add what you've just stated to the official testimony? Yes, please, Mr. Judge. Okay. Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. But how can we prove... I'm not quite sure how we could prove. Witness's photo with this has a timer function. $2 million gem uses ransom for Dahlia. Lost to Eagle River 5 years ago. I mean, we could try that. We should probably... What we're going to do, actually, is we're going to just, press everything again. And make sure that we can skip past everything and then save again. So what made you go to Eagle River? Oh, it's the hiking, you know, that sort of thing. You don't look like much of a hiker to me, but you do look like a digger of sorts. Isn't a gold digger? Get it? She's a gold digger because her name is Dahlia Goldthorn? I don't get it either. It does make me wonder, though. How can we prove... Like, I don't exactly know we can prove that she wasn't wearing a white scarf. And I don't exactly know how we can prove that she didn't know the... Because, like, the thing is, like, we don't... Like, the characters don't know that she's Dahlia yet, so... we have evidence, but, it doesn't quite work for us just yet. You know? Not really said anything. Talk about sensitive. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Are you sure about that? Because, like, if you hurt a police officer and then you hurt them again, does that mean that you double hurt a fire truck made out of cement? What if fire trucks were made out of cement? I wonder. That'd be interesting. No, that really wouldn't. What if cars were made out of cement? The questions I ask on these videos. No, really, what if cars were made out of cement? Like, what would that be like? Anyway, that seems like a rather serious mistake. Okay, yeah, that's the oldest trick in the prosecutor's book. That's not fair. That wicked inmate. I will never be able to forget that horrible day. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. Press. Blah, blah, grudge. Blah, blah. Well, the police sworn testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death. Yes, and that precisely why he arbitered. I don't know why I'm progressively getting louder. Like, I started normal, but now I'm getting louder and louder and louder and louder. He seems rather forgetful. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I love. Where's Wilson? What do you mean by that? Your client, he forgot what the detective looked like. It looks too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well. Oh, she's right about that. Miss Falls is kind of forgetful. Mr. Falls. Why do I always make that mistake? I always say Miss instead of Mr. and Mr. instead of Miss. I don't know why I do that. It's just one of those things, I suppose. Identification, quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf, so as identification. Why, if I had been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me. That's true. He's clearly a bitter man. This is bad. Mr. Falls' reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke deep. Have I added to the testimony? 1 second, actually. The thing is, though, is that we said that she was the one in the middle of the bridge, though. Okay, we'll try that, actually. I don't know why I didn't think of that from the beginning. I don't know. Because it's like they sort of, like, backpedaled, right? Like, oh, she wasn't wearing a white scarf, but no, that's not why. Okay, enough witness, if you would. My pleasure, Mr. Judge. Alright, let's go ahead and save, why don't we? So I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. But you were, though, right? Because the picture? Because... are we just backpedaling and saying that she wasn't the person in the picture? Or is that what we're saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just making stuff up. Like, what about the picture? We didn't disprove that it's not... Oh, that's a photo of the car. We need to go to the witness's photo, right? It's like, that's her. She's wearing the white scarf. Maybe I'm just... Nope. Okay. Nope. Okay, so I thought I was on to something, but clearly I wasn't. I don't think anything of it. How about you? I don't think anything of it either. Then what? Because I was like, oh, well, she's in the picture, right? She's wearing a white scarf, so I guess all of that information is just out of the water. We're starting from square one again. Is that what you're saying, game? I suppose so. This court finds the defendant Terry Falls guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned. I feel like, has it been 10 minutes yet? It's been close to it at this point, I believe. 10 minutes seems like too short a time sometimes, but it's like, you know, that's equal to half an episode, so I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. It has to be. Worn by the victim at the time of the incident, found in Dusky Bridge. Bridge located... I mean... Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Until I entered college, I had never even been to Eagle Mountain before. I mean, the thing is, we don't know that she's doll yet, so I can't just say, oh, red... This is kind of frustrating, actually. Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. But, you know, like, normally you have to present evidence for one of the appended things, so naturally I didn't know that either the victim or the defendant, or I wasn't wearing, it's a good thing I wasn't wearing a white scarf, but how do we disprove that with, photo of the trunk, Falls car. Can we use the crime photo? Oh, that's right, we determined that it fell off of her. Right. I was like, why don't we just use the crime photo? Well, it doesn't matter, because she wasn't wearing a scarf either, but no, Alright. Well, I think it's been 10 minutes, so I think I'm gonna have to look this up. Okay, I'm back. So, I didn't think to do this because I thought that it was completely idiotic, but what we're actually supposed to do is go to the one where she says, it's holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. What we're supposed to do is present the scarf to the statement. I don't see how this disproves anything, but this is what we need to do, apparently. Witness! I want you to look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Ah, yeah, you're talking about the scarf right here, eh? Yes, that's it. That scarf the policeman was wearing. I've got her now. Just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. She did. She did. I didn't look that far into things. Oh, white! This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me! Oh! Well, it was foggy that day and it's raining as well. It's not surprising that she mistook it for white. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. It's kind of like, it's like a white-blue, okay? Like, it's blue, but, like, I just thought it was the lighting. Like, okay. Yeah, yes, but okay, yes, I know that Edra said it's not exactly white, but I thought maybe it's like some, like, off-white, blue, whatever. Yes, but what's the significance? It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is... I probably should have saved first. We're gonna go to the victim's note. Take that! Witness! Have you ever seen this note? Note? No, never. It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have. I wonder about that. What do you mean? This note shows Mr. Fall's instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear white scarf for identification. White or white scarf? Ugh! Witness, you knew that what this note said. There's no other possible reason for you to mistake the scarf's color. Well, Miss Foster? No! Order! 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 Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation! I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one, the person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another, and finally, one more person. Did you say one more person? That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yep. The third person that knew the contents of the note was... You have to say... Can we say... Oh yeah, the Dahlia Hawthorne. Valerie's younger sister. So, I didn't even know that this was actually added to the whatchamacallit. Deceased. Take that! And that person is... Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne! I've never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. There is her name, right there. What's this? So who is this person, this Dahlia Hawthorne? Miss Faye must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago, when she fell off of Dusky Bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. Legally! As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster. I believe that's the same age you are. Even you couldn't. Miss Faye, you're not saying... But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Ha! Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. I understand. And I guess we'll figure out what we need to do the next episode. First, first.